Hey, what's going on, everybody? Whew. Another episode here, Young Hustlers on the Cardone Zone. Today is day one back from 10X Growth Conference. It was freaking off the charts insane. And we actually had a conference the weekend before, so there was a group of us that were out in Vegas for like 2 weeks straight. It was crazy. But wow, so much amazing stuff, so many amazing people. You know, I got to say, this is the fourth GrowthCon that we did, and I think we nailed it this year. This is everybody was super happy with how this turned out. The attendees were stoked. We had lots of surprise guests and performances. The team crushed it the whole weekend through. Shout out to every single person on the 10X team who made this happen. Man, it was just, I'm speechless because it was literally everything that it should have been. And I want to kind of just take you guys through what we do after something like this. Because whether it's us coming home from an event or you know, going and making a presentation, a sales presentation to a customer, like there should always be kind of a process that you follow afterwards. And I'm going to take you guys just real quickly through what we've already done for this event and what we'll continue to do over the next few weeks to make sure that next year's even better. So like when you come to an event, what happens is you get total like information overload, right? Like lots of new data is coming in, lots of new strategies, lots of new, this is like your head right here, right? And you got a big old smile because you just went to 10X. I am 10X, right? So you get all this new information, all this new data and everything, and then you have to like figure out like, what do I do with it? Whether it was Magic Johnson, Scooter Braun, Dana White, who was a surprise guest, Danny Garcia, who else did we have? Brad Parscale, John Travolta, Pete Vargas, Kevin Hart, Usher, Floyd Mayweather, the list just goes on and on and on. Marie Forleo, everybody was freaking insane. And everybody starts bringing all these new ideas and information. And the thing that can really kind of cripple you is if you let all of this information come in and you don't have a way to actually put any of it to work, right? So it's like, what is your like post-event strategy? Now, post-event, I'm just going to put event in parentheses because event could be a lot of different things. Like we do the same exact thing with sales presentations. So post-event / sales presentation, number one is you have to debrief. You got to debrief. You got to figure out like, hey, what actually just happened? We had so many celebrities, so much talent, so much AV and production and all these things. Like it can be completely overwhelming to be a part of that event like most of you just were for the last 3 days at this point. And figure out like, okay, hey, what actually happened? So first thing is we debrief. We've debriefed the event. We went through and we said, hey, we did this on Sunday. So right, the moment the event ended, we went to the back, we all got together and we just started debriefing everything. Hey, what worked, what didn't work, what would we change, what would we do again, what would we not do again, who would we have back, who would we not have back. Like we go through and when it's fresh, debrief everything. And so if you're coming back to Miami, I guess at this point, you're probably not in Miami, you're probably where you live. But you need to go back over everything. Like, hey, take yourself, walk through every presenter that was on stage. Okay, walk through every presentation. Go back through your notes. I mean, I was on stage and I saw people they were burning notes, like pages and pages and pages of their workbooks of notes. And so for us, we're like, okay, hey, one thing, for example. The biggest critique that we had, the thing that we were least happy about this year was people that bought seats that didn't show up. This happens every year. Like they'll tell you with any event, you're going to have a 15 to 20% attrition rate of people who actually pay for they pay for the ticket. They have every intention of coming, but for some reason, whatever happens last minute, they no show. So what we figured out was we said, okay, that was the biggest issue that we had of the whole event this year. That was the only thing that Grant was like upset about. Everything else he was like over the moon thrilled for. So we say, okay, hey, let's debrief and let's figure out what the solution is, because the second piece is once you debrief and you have your action items, now you have to implement. Okay? So you debrief, you figure out the good, the bad, the ugly, and you put your action items in place. If you go in, you do a sales presentation, what worked, what didn't, what did they like, what did they not like? When we asked this, what did they say about that? So we're going back through and we're kind of reliving the whole experience so that we can come up with some action items. These are the things that we're actually going to take action on down here in the implementation step, okay? So whether this is rebuilding your sales presentation deck, adding questions in, modifying a proposal, like taking the action items and putting them into something that you do something with is the implementation stage. For us, our the thing that we wanted to fix, really the only thing, was seats. So the plan is this. For GC5, right? Was that the next one? GC5? Yeah. So for the next GrowthCon, GC5, what we're going to do is we're going to sell out the floor seats. If you were on the floor, basically, here's the 10X stage. All of the seats that were on the floor, those will all be reserved assigned seats. So if you are sitting on the floor, you will be guaranteed to sit in your same seat all weekend. All of the other seats outside the arena, these will all be open and first come, first served. Okay, so let me tell you what that does for us. What that does for us is every morning, by the way, every morning everybody's late all the time. Like, it's ridiculous. People can't, they think that they're just gonna show up to an arena with 12,000 people at 8:45 and they're gonna get in on time. It's just crazy. So a couple things that we're trying to solve with that. Number one, when we do open seating, first come, first serve, guess what that means? That means people show up early because they want to get the best seat they possibly can. The second thing that does is because people want to get the best seat they possibly can, they take open seats along the way. So rather than empty seat here, and everything kind of spread out because there's handfuls of people here that don't show up, somebody here doesn't show up, somebody here doesn't show up. Now what we end up with is everybody's moving down as close as they can to get the best seat possible. So people get there early and it fills in all the seats at the bottom all the way up to the top. So that was probably our biggest takeaway from the entire event was we're changing the way that we're selling the seats next time so that we don't have empty seats, okay? Plus, by doing unassigned seats, we have the opportunity now to oversell the event to cover the 20% of people that aren't going to show up anyways. So one little change that we made solved the biggest problem that we had. We debriefed it, we implemented it, we took the action items and implemented a plan around it. And then number 3 is you have to keep the momentum going with what you're doing here. So we talked about it, we came up with the action items, we figured out what the plan was going to be, and today's most of the executive team's first day back in the office because we had a 2-day mastermind after GrowthCon. We move immediately into putting a plan in place to make sure that this happens, to keep the momentum going. Now, different perspective, let's say you were an attendee at GrowthCon. First thing you want to do is you want to debrief all the speakers. You want to figure out, hey, who did I like, who did I not like? Go back through all your notes. What's the stuff that you wrote down? What's the stuff that you highlighted? What's the stuff that you circled? What's this? Like, what are those key points that you took away from them? You should come up with maybe a list of 10 or 12 max. You need to write these things down, these action items down every single day. We're moving into implementation, right? How do I implement these things? So from my debrief, from my review, I got 12 items. Items, ideas, strategies, tactics. Come up with like 10 to 12 things that you're actually going to do something with. Then you need to drop that down into implementation. Now, implementing 12 things is is not going to be the easiest thing in the world to do, okay? Because you have a lot going on. So what you have to do is we have to start making sure that we keep the momentum moving as we're implementing these action items. How do you do that? These need to be written down every single day like you write your goals down. It's the only way you're going to keep them fresh and top of mind when you get back to your life and you get back to your job or you get back to your naggy husband or wife or, problems with your kids at school, cutting class or whatever. Like, you have to come back through and you have to keep reminding yourself of those things that you were going to take away. That's what keeps your momentum going. Because you have to keep the momentum going. Better yet, momentum is kept by a future commitment. A future commitment. So now everybody that came to the growth conference is like, wow, this was great, it was unreal. We say, hey, look, you need to keep something in front of you. You need to keep the momentum going. So we offer a boot camp ticket. In April now, people have something on their calendar that's going to keep the momentum moving. It's going to continue to pull them forward towards those things that they're trying to implement. This is super important because the last thing you want to do with an event like the 10X Growth Conference, the last thing you want to do with a sales presentation. Jeff Bounds and I, he's our head of automotive. He's got a meeting with Nissan Motor Corporation, and we go and we meet at their headquarters in Tennessee. The second we get out of that meeting, we're sitting down, we're going, okay, hey, what worked, what didn't? What were their hot points or their hot buttons? What are the things that they're looking for? What are they really telling us they want, not what are they asking for? Like we start debriefing this whole thing and then we start moving into implementation. Okay, what is the plan going to be? How do we solve all those problems that they're having, plus the ones that they know that they have that they're kind of talking about but not really? And then what do we do to keep the momentum moving forward in the deal? So it's like debrief the meeting. Get your action items in place so that you can implement a plan and then keep the momentum going behind what you're doing. So continue to put things out in the future that will continue to pull you forward and actually hold you accountable to implementing the things that you're doing. Great example, boot camp after GrowthCon. The reason we do that is because it puts something on the calendar. Now people go, they have all these great ideas, these great mindset shifts, these great big think experiences, and now they go back to their business and they're like, okay, well, how do I put this all to work? Well, you put it to work by continuing to focus on the thing that you're trying to implement and then come to another event. Come to another event so that now you come and you spend 3 more days with us. The people that have the most success with us are the ones who we see every quarter. They're at every boot camp, they're at GrowthCon, they just continually come through because it continues to reinvigorate them because they go back home to where people don't think 10X and they don't act 10X and they're not 10X in their business, they're not 10X in their personal life, they don't even know what 10X means. So that's the momentum piece that's really important and it makes all the difference in the world. You got a caller, Natalie?
Yes, we do, Jared.
Who do we got?
David in Mississippi.
David from Mississippi, man. Thanks for calling the show. What's going on?
Man, what's going on, Jared? So I got Caleb with me right here. Say what's up, Caleb.
Hello.
Hey, so me and Caleb, we're building a company right now. It's called Lawn Commander. We're a lawn and landscape company.
Okay.
And we're going to change to a different business model from the traditional model. We want to have like a franchise type model that's like the insurance business, where you're combined as a salesperson, but you're also skilled in the lawn and landscape business. We just got some questions about going omnipresent. What are your suggestions just to get our name out there and announce to the public of what we're trying to do with this new business model?
Well, number one, social media, obviously. So Facebook, Instagram, those are probably going to be your biggest two. You could create a YouTube channel, start doing videos about what you're doing. We have a guy that follows us. His name's Tigran, and he has a big group in the lawn care space. He has a landscape company. I think he's actually in Silicon Valley. But he's got a bunch of people that follow him. He's got a YouTube channel, and he's built a pretty interesting community in that space, which is, impressive. And he comes to all of our stuff too. I would use social. Get on the phone. Start calling people, man.
Okay. Yeah.
Go through your phones, and every single contact in there, make a phone call to them. Whether No matter how long it's been since you talked to them, no matter if you know them or not, just pick up the phone and make the call.
Okay.
I mean,
Great.
the phone's going to be the quickest way. The social route's going to take some time because you're going to have to build some. You're going to have to figure out like what the messaging is. You're going to have to build an audience. Like you're going to have to do a lot of that stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, that's what I do.
Man, we appreciate you, Jared. We definitely tune into y'all all the time. We're big Cardone followers, and we just look up to you, Jared.
Dude, did you guys come to the GrowthCon?
I streamed it live. We're gonna be there next year.
What'd you think of it?
Oh my God, it blew my mind. Look, I didn't know how much value was in it. I had my notepad out the entire time. I was taking notes, and just some of the stuff was just so synchronistic, like synchronicity of just like it was what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I just took a lot of notes from it, and it was great.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you were able to get the live stream. So, by the way,
I'm gonna holler at you when I'm there next year.
dude, you got to be there next year. It's going to be insane. Thanks for the call.
Awesome, Jared. You have Jay on the line from Atlanta.
Jay from Atlanta. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. Dude, were you at the 10X Growth Conference?
No, I invested in Cardone Capital instead.
Oh, okay, good for you. Did you get the stream?
No, I didn't. I wasn't paying attention to
Strike two.
it. I know. Sorry,
What's going on, man? What's your question?
Hey, so not counting like my main gig that I do, I figured out how to make products online, and I can get each of them to about $10,000 a year. And I'm curious if you think it's a good idea to try to like hone in on one and make it hit like six figures, or to try to do like 10 of them that make 10,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a better idea to try to go deeper with one thing than go wide with a bunch of things.
Yeah.
I think what you need to do is you need to lean into the one, see how big you can get it before. It's a mistake that people make a lot, because what happens is they get distracted, like they're trying to build a second flow of income. And what ends up happening is, because they really haven't gone all in on one, they start adding, and it starts kind of diluting the attention and the focus and the push that they can have on something that they really would have just doubled down on the one. It would have blown up. So, again, I would always say try to figure out how to make one go deeper, and then get that thing working and self-sufficient, and maybe it becomes robust enough that somebody could manage it for you. Pay somebody to manage it for you, and then go do it again.
Yeah. When do you know that it's maxed out and it's time to start the next one?
Well, I mean, it's different until sales start slowing. Like growth slows. The sales slow, margin starts falling. But that's just a break point in the growth cycle of that product. It's just you did A to get to where you're at, and then now you've reached a point where A no longer is sufficient. Now the ad creative needs to be 10 times better, or the spend needs to be 3 times greater, or it could be a lot of things. But typically it's when sales just start falling and you can't figure out how to lift them.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate the call.
Jared, you have Edwin in Chicago.
Edwin from Chicago, what's going on, man?
What's up, Jared? How's it going?
Good, man. Dude, did you come to the 10X Growth Conference?
No, I didn't, bro.
God damn, man. I can't believe all you guys didn't come. It was crazy.
Man, I wish I could have gone, but I just heard about you guys. I heard about Grant recently, so, I'm pretty new to all this.
We got a live stream right now, the recording. What's the link for the recording? Is it 10xgrowthcon.com/PPV? You can get the recording for $147 at 10xgrowthcon.com/PPV. Magic Johnson, Scooter Braun, Dana White, Danny Garcia, Brad Parscale, John Travolta, Usher, Ryan Dice, Pete Vargas, Marie Forleo, Grant Cardone, Brandon Dawson, Floyd Mayweather, Kevin Hart. I mean, dude, the lineup was just stupid.
Okay, sounds good.
What's your question, bro?
Yeah, so my question is, so I found myself with this good opportunity working with asbestos and lead, and I'm thinking about creating my own little business. But I have a question about what type of business entity should I get?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, so I would probably just go to Google on that. You just need to figure if it needs to just be an LLC or an S corp.
Yeah. Okay.
There's different advantages and protections of each. You just need to go figure out what works best for you. So.
Got you.
Cool.
Well, not since. Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah. What's up?
All right. So once I grow my businesses and all, I'm gonna figure it out. I want to invest in real estate. What do you think about Chicago? Is it a good idea to invest in real estate in this area?
Again, I'm not the real estate pro, but I know Grant doesn't own anything in Chicago.
He doesn't know anything about Chicago?
No, he doesn't own anything in Chicago.
Oh, he doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right then.
Yeah.
Well,
but he also says invest in areas that you know.
Yeah.
So that you're familiar with. You know things about that market that he doesn't,
Right. Yeah, I'd be checking it out, but man, to be honest, a lot of these places they look like they need a lot of repairing and stuff.
Of course they do, yeah. Hey, and on the LLC, C corp, S corp, whatever you're trying to set up, LLP, dude, what you need to figure out first is just how to sell something. Like whatever you're trying to get set up, like before you worry about legal structure and entity and all that, you need to figure out how to get something sold. Like out sequence problems is a big problem for people trying to get stuff started. The most important thing is that you're starting to sell stuff, because most people are going to spend time on how do I get my entity set up? What's my website? What do my business cards look like? What's my logo? Dude, and they spend 3 months on that and they didn't sell shit. The most important thing is to sell stuff. So do that first and then worry about all that other stuff later.
So where do you think I could start? Like something that has to do with what I'm gonna do, or
dude, something that's whatever business you have in mind, like you need to just start selling that. Yeah, go get people to give you money before you worry about all the other stuff. I got a business. We have one of our licensees. They're in Canada. They did over $4 million in sales last year, and they don't even have a website. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, don't focus on keep the main thing, man. Keep focused on sales.
Because I met up with this guy. He has his business. He has 5 companies. He has a school to give out licenses for asbestos, lead, and other types of criteria. And he wants to help me out. I talked to him, and I don't know. I feel like that's a good idea. He's an expert on this stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, then if you trust him, then yeah. Appreciate the call, bro. Thanks for being here today. We got one more?
Yep, we've got Ruben in Utah.
Ruben, what's going on?
Hey, not much, man. Just here listening to the show.
My man, thanks for the call. You got a question?
Yeah, my question is regarding, using my own money or banks to keep growing my side business that I got going on.
Whether you want to use your own money or the bank's money?
Or keep using my money, or trying to keep getting loans for what I'm trying to do.
Do you know how much what you're trying to do is going to cost?
Right now, it's probably going to cost me about $100,000 just to get it to where I need it to. How's
that $100,000 going to be spent?
Pretty much on the infrastructure of setting up the place, running a bunch of water lines, things like that I need to set up on the property for RV rentals and mobile homes.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the money, they always say OPM, other people's money, but if you can find a way to get cheap money seems like it's pretty cheap right now. If you can get a loan for it, then do that, sit on your money, and if you can't, then use your money. You may not have an option,
Yeah, well, I started with a credit card, $20,000 credit card, and So I pretty much, that's kind of how I started it. But
Yeah, you should see if you could get a line of credit or something, You
So now I've
do you
been,
have any credit? Is a bank going to give you money?
yeah. I mean, I've qualified for up to 200,000. So I know what I could get. It's just, do I use my money or should I just use theirs?
Yeah,
You know what
I mean, I'd use somebody else's money if at all possible.
And do I do it do I do it now or until I start getting more cash flow? To where it'll pay for itself. It's kind of where I'm at.
You just need to get to a point
where-
where you can get a credit line sufficient enough to get everything you need to get done, and then you need to pay that back, as you need to. I mean,
Yeah.
if somebody's going to give you $200,000 and it's the terms are good, then that's a better deal than using your own $200,000.
Yeah, and then generally,
Particularly if it increases the value of something, or like if you're doing mobile home parks or something like that, that it gives you the opportunity to earn more cash flow.
Yeah, because I own the
Grant
property,
finances all his apartments. He doesn't use his own cash for the entire deal. He uses banks to
Yeah.
give him 75% of the money.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of where
Called
I was trying to
leverage.
get at is- Yep. Yeah. Well, I have a little bit of leverage. It's just learning how to use it better, I guess.
Yeah, well, a credit card's definitely going to be the least favorable terms.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
a bank will give you $200,000 and they'll do it on some kind of low fixed rate kind of line of credit type thing, then that's what I'd do.
Mhm.
So,
Right on.
all right, man,
Cool.
appreciate the call. So
All right,
guys,
thank you.
check it out. Here's the 3 things you need to do when you get back from event. Number 1, you need to debrief. You need to figure out what you learned, what worked, what didn't, what worked in the pitch, what didn't, what you liked from the event, what you learned from the event. Number 2, you got to implement it. You got to move that into action items that you can actually make movement on every single day. Whatever those ideas are that comes out of this event for you, you need to continue to write those down every single day like they're your goals until they actually become something that you do. This will be huge for you, I promise. So if Magic Johnson says, something about thinking outside the box, then you need to figure out what that means to you. If you're going to write that down every day, think outside the box, think outside the box. And then number 3, you've got to keep the momentum moving. That's the most important thing. Keep momentum moving towards that by taking action on the things that you lay out every day, and keep that momentum moving by making another commitment in the future. So if you pitch a deal, what's your momentum? Your momentum piece is, hey, I'm going to go out and pitch another deal to somebody. What's your momentum coming out of 10X Growth Conference? I'm going to come to the boot camp. Something in the future that'll pull you forward, and it'll make sure that you stay accountable to the things that you took from the event, the experience, the pitch, the whatever, right? So I hope that helped. This is something that we're actively doing right now in our business. We're taking everything that we learned, we're debriefing, we're creating action items out of it so we can implement, and then we got things that, our boot camp's coming up next. That's the next thing that's pulling us forward and keeping us accountable. So hope that worked for you. Hope it helped. This thing will be, this event, this 10X Growth Conference could be worth millions of dollars to you if you follow these steps, get the things implemented, and keep the momentum moving into the boot camp. GrantCardoneBootCamp.com if you want to get signed up for our April boot camp right here in Miami. We still got a few slots left, talking about money, sales, business, marketing, operations, scaling, execution, hiring, recruiting, the whole deal. This is our most comprehensive business training event that we have. Hope to see you there right here in Miami, Diplomat Hotel, April 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And remember, the only people who condemn the hustle are the ones who've already given up on the hustle themselves. We'll see you next week.